How is everybody tonight? Welcome in to Rover Sports. This is a video that I didn't know if I was going to make it or not because my knowledge on the NFL, especially towards the back half of the first round, is not exactly the best in general. But a lot of other guys like Bad Dog, you guys can go check him out, Bad Dog 76, Chris the Entertainer, Jet Central, The Sports Fury, Pigskin Pete. Doing a mock draft is fun. And today I spent about a good hour just coming up with scenarios that I saw happening in this first round. And I'm ready to attempt this mock draft. Don't really have a lot of notes, but I think it's gonna be a fun ride. So with the first overall pick in the 2019 Rover Sports mock draft, the Arizona Cardinals will be drafting at 1, and they will select Josh Allen from the University of Kentucky. Now, this player is going to be amazing at the combine. Josh Allen, I've heard a lot of his interviews. He is a guy that resurrected the program at Kentucky. He's an inside linebacker. In the 3-4 scheme, he will be absolutely perfect, and he will be a star. Khalil Mack has already reached out to Josh Allen to help teach him. He's a guy that is an extremely hard worker, a 3-star recruit, was going to go to Monmouth for college. Academically very bright, and a kid that honestly is terrifically bright. So you're getting a great person in your building, which is very important, which I value a lot. But you're also getting a guy on the field, failed. If you want to be Southern, you could say failed on the field. That is very, very quick. He's quick off the edge. He's quick to the football. And this is a guy that is a great pass rusher and a guy that is relentless in pursuit, great against the run, and he can attack the quarterback, and teams are going to have trouble blocking him. With the second overall pick in the 2019 Rover Sports mock draft, this is what I think is going to happen. The San Francisco 49ers will be ecstatic to select Nick Bosa from the University of Ohio State. This is a perfect fit. You have Buckner in the middle of the field, and you are going to now on the edge, you're going to have Nick Bosa, who has great technique, a guy that's quick off the edge and can get to the passer. And ever since he was a freshman, he is a big-time recruit. 49ers fans should be ecstatic. This guy will be putting up about 11 or 12 sacks a season, and he will be a force. And now the 49ers have one of the best. The 49ers now have one of the best pass rushing units in the entire NFL. You pair what the 49ers are doing with a healthy Jimmy Garoppolo, knock on wood, for 16 games. The 49ers are also going to be in the market for a possible Le'Veon Bell. The 49ers are going to be looking at other running backs in this draft. Maybe Montgomery from Iowa State is a possibility. David Montgomery. There are some good backs in this class. Darrell Henderson is a really, really good back. And I think the 49ers are going to get a wide receiver in the draft, a running back, and they should be a team that can win the NFC West next year with Jimmy Garoppolo, because Garoppolo is an elite quarterback, and that defense is going to be just fine. And the 49ers are a team that's on the come up, and they're going to end up getting a great player in Nick Bosa. I think the 49ers are headed in a great direction as a franchise. I'm really proud of what John and Kyle have built. I think a lot of other people are excited about the 49ers, but so far, I want a quiet offseason from the 49ers, because with Richard Sherman last year, it was full go towards winning the NFC West and getting deep into the playoffs. And this year, I just kind of want the talk to subside and I want to see the magic happen, and I want to see health, and I want to see the guys execute and win the NFC West and make a statement and get into the playoffs, get into the tournament, and start playing some games in the playoffs. So I'm very confident about the 49ers, and I don't just say that because the Niner Empire is fantastic. I really love everything that Kyle and John have built and what Jed York has allowed them to do. With the third overall pick, this is going to upset Jets fans a lot, but I think this is what's going to happen. Third overall pick, the New York Jets select Rashawn Gary, defensive end, Michigan. The New York Jets with this pick should take Quinnen Williams, and they should take it to the bank. Even Brett Coleman, the best, I'm going to say Brett Coleman, in all of sports, his content is exactly what I love, and I think he's one of the most intelligent people in all of sports and one of my favorite guys to listen and watch his videos. He compared him to Aaron Donald, Quinnen Williams. But the New York Jets, they're not going to take an interior pass rusher with Leonard Williams. McCagnon is more of a numbers guy. He's going to be enamored with Rashawn Gary at the combine. Now, Gary was a guy that was going to go very early last year. If he could have went last year. He was another guy like a Nick Bosa that has been a star, but he only recorded 3 sacks in his last 9 games. But this guy is going to run a 4.5 40. He's going to do incredible at the combine. He's a smart kid. He's dedicated to football, but the Jets are going to take a defensive pass rusher, and they're going to take him. He's a New Jersey native, and I don't think it's a good pick at all. The New York Jets should take Quinnen Williams. They should take him. But in this mock, this is truly what I think is going to happen. Just like the Jets should have hired Matt Rule instead of Adam Gase, or they should have tried to hire Zach Taylor instead of Adam Gase. The Jets hired Adam Gase. Then they surrounded Adam Gase with that crazy coach Greg Williams. You still have Mike McCagnon, who is famous for not drafting Kamara, who is famous for saying last year he was happy taking any of the top 3 quarterbacks, and he moved up prematurely as he wanted Baker Mayfield. I truly believe in my heart of hearts that that's exactly what happened. The New York Jets, with the Gase hire, with, just Jamal Adams saying all this stuff on social media, combined with Gase, Adams, the quiet personality of Sam Darnold, the Jets team, I couldn't be any lower on this Jets team. And the New York Jets need to select Quinnen Williams. That is the correct move for the Jets. In a series of horrific moves, Quinnen Williams is on the board. You need to take one of the big 3, whether that's Bosa, whether that's Josh Allen, or Quinnen Williams. But the New York Jets always disappoint. They disappointed from the Gase hire was a huge misstep. The Sam Darnold trade up was horrific when they could have just stayed at 6 and maybe gotten Quentin Nelson, maybe gotten a Josh Allen. I just couldn't be any further away from what the Jets are doing. I think the Jets are going to be a colossal failure. They're going to go about 6-10, 5-11, and Adam Gase will not last 2 years in New York. Put it right now in the words, in the writing. Put it in stone. Adam Gase will be fired in 2 years, no matter what. And the New York Jets will not even come close to a playoff berth with Sam Darnold. They will completely fail. This year, absolutely fail. Next year, they will fail. And McCagnon and that whole building will turn to shreds, will turn to dust. And Christopher Johnson will be left with nothing. Just what I think. So I can't wait to come back to that opinion as well. Especially check mark that, book it, send it to my Twitter feed. I'll make a video on it eventually. With the 4th overall pick. Now this is a team, the Oakland Raiders, that I believe, the Oakland Raiders, that I believe is headed in a great direction. I am one of the few people that liked the Khalil Mack trade. Amari Cooper is a good receiver, a very good receiver, but they weren't getting anything done in Oakland. This is a team that needs to start over. The Reggie McKenzie firing was the best move the Raiders could have made. They then hired a local guy from Philadelphia, Mike Mayock, who I have a ton of respect for Mike Mayock. And Mayock is going to get this team right. Him and Gruden are going to work together absolutely perfectly. Mayock and Gruden know the entire staff. Now everyone in the building is working in the right direction. The Raiders get a bookend franchise-changing player. Great character kid, the next Aaron Donald. At number 4, the Oakland Raiders select Quinnen Williams. And I really hope it happens because I'm one of those guys, everybody in the media hates John Gruden, makes fun of him, says that he's all a name, says he's just a name, says that the game's passed him by, and that he's out here trading all these superstars, and that he's in over his head, and that he's stupid. That's what everybody in the media is saying about the Chuckster. That's what everybody in the media says about John Gruden. That's what everybody says about Chuck. But I'm here to tell you that Chuck and the Raiders are going to be coming back. You get a guy in the middle of your defense that is very similar to an Aaron Donald, a guy who can clog up the middle, a guy that's a very smart and intellectual player, and a guy that's going to be a great locker room guy. Perfect pick here is Quinnen Williams to Oakland. At number 5, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what the Tampa Bay Bucs are doing is they're kind of going through a little bit of a transition themselves. Because Tampa Bay right now is hiring an older coach in Bruce Arians that I think is a pretty good football coach. They are staying with Jameis Winston. Mike Evans is a very talented player. Humphreys is going to be gone, Adam Humphreys. Their offensive line is Donovan Smith, Ali Marpet. I think Ryan Jansen is the center. They need another tackle or another guard on the football team, and their offensive line needs to get better. Bruce Arians coached at Alabama. He's from Georgia, or he's not from Georgia. I think Arians might be from Pennsylvania. But Bruce Arians is a guy that coached at Alabama, and that is why with the 5th overall pick in the Rover Sports mock draft, the Tampa Bay Bucs will select Jonah Williams, a versatile guard, a guy that's a smart player, a safe, predictable pick for Jason Licht, and they're just trying to roll the ball out, okay? When you have a new coach, when you have Todd Bowles and all these new players, you're going to roll the ball out with this pick. It's a very good pick to select. It's a very good pick to select Jonah Williams with this pick. Now, we don't know if Gerald McCoy is going to be back. Jason Pierre-Paul alluded to last year, he said in that locker room that there's some guys who pretend that they're great battlers or great competitors, but they're fakes. McCoy's going to make a lot of money this year, and he was not that productive this year. I think he was better a couple years ago. He's a big-name guy, seems like a great guy off the field. Now, is he just a showman, or is he a solid contributor to the Tampa Bay Bucs? Is he the guy that's the real leader, or is he all fluff? And Pierre-Paul, and it's up to Jason Licht to find that out, and it's up to Arians. But Jonah Williams, I think they get this pick right. I think it's a good pick. At number 6, here we go, guys. Here we go. With the 6th overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Devin White, linebacker, LSU. Notice how I didn't say the Rover Sports mock draft for that one, because this is the one that I want to happen, and this will happen. This general manager right here selected Luke Kuechly from Boston College. This guy selected Thomas Davis, I believe. I believe his name is Thomas Davis and Shaq Thompson, but especially Thomas Davis is one of the great linebackers for Carolina. I think his name is Thomas Davis. He was a very good linebacker with Kuechly. Bottom line is Dave Gettleman drafts linebackers early. The Giants haven't drafted a linebacker in the longest of times. Alec Ogletree is a good leader, decent. B.J. Goodson is okay. He's kind of hurt. He's not that sure of a tackler. You have Lorenzo Carter that is starting to come in, and I think he's going to make a nice leap to year 2. This is a pick I really like. I think that the Giants are either going to get Case Keenum and Eli Manning, or they're going to stick with Eli Manning, and actually, they are going to stick probably with Eli, and that's what you guys are thinking at this particular point. So stay tuned. Who knows what's going to happen in this mock draft, in this first round? Stay tuned, Giants fans. Surprises could be happening. With the number 7 overall pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Khalil Ferrell, defensive end, Clemson Tigers. This is a very good pick for Tom Coughlin. This is a team that is going to acquire Nick Foles because of DeFilippo. So Khalil Ferrell will be here for the Jaguars, and it will be a defensive lineman because Nick Foles will be going to Jacksonville. This guy is an explosive pass rusher off the edge. It fills in for Dante Fowler. Taven Bryan we're really unsure what Bryan is going to be. He was more of a project at Florida. He was a converted tight end from Wyoming, Taven Bryan. But this guy, Khalil Ferrell, like his highlight tape, tough player. And this is going to be a guy that's going to be good for this entire room for Jacksonville. For the 8th pick, with the 8th overall pick, the Detroit Lions select Greedy Williams, cornerback LSU. Now, I don't know his real name. I know his name is Greedy Williams. They have Darius Slay. This can either be a cornerback. This could be a defensive tackle. A lot of people have Rashawn Gary going to the Detroit Lions. This is a boring franchise, the Lions. They have a coach in Matt Patricia right now. They hired Darrell Bevell instead of Shane Waldron as the offensive coach. You have Bob Quinn and Patricia know each other from New England. Now, I like Patricia more than I like Brian Flores because I think Patricia has balls, actually. And that training camp was very, very rigorous and tough. The players don't like Matt Patricia, but the guys that will stay will eventually try to buy into the program. They're still rolling with Matt Stafford, who I said a year ago, 2 years ago, was one of the most overrated quarterbacks ever. It's a guy who has decent arm strength, but up here mentally, he doesn't have that killer instinct. He was leading the Dallas Cowboys in the playoff game in 2013 with Tony Romo, and he couldn't put the damn Cowboys away. He let the Cowboys come right back in and let Romo have a walk-off last-minute drive to win in. Stafford, I think, is 0-3 in playoff games, and I don't think he's ever won the NFC. He's never won the NFC North ever in his life. Mitchell Trubisky has more NFC North championships than Matthew Stafford does. He's won absolutely nothing in his career. Nothing. And he's in Detroit. He had Calvin Johnson. He had Eric Ebron, who actually is a very good player, who's a great red zone player. Now they have Kerryon Johnson. It's up to this defense to be very good, and it's up for Bevell to connect with Stafford because Jim Bob Cooter was absolutely terrible. Now, I don't think that the Lions need to go 8-8 or 9-7 next year. They need to show signs of life, and Matt Stafford needs to show signs of life, or he should be gone. I like Patricia because in Detroit, you need a name. You need a style. And Matt Patricia brings the style. He is a high upside coach, but he could be an absolute failure. But for Detroit, you need a coach that is going to be, that could possibly, you need to take risks if you're in Detroit, Michigan. You can't just float around. And I don't ever like floating around with a mediocre coach, with a Ron Rivera, even with like a Doug Marrone, who I think is a mediocre head coach. There are mediocre coaches in the NFL. I think John Harbaugh, is pretty dang mediocre as well. So you need to create a style. You need to bring your own energy. It's Detroit, Michigan. And you need to shake things up. And I loved firing Jim Bob Cooter. I like keeping Matt Patricia. I like giving him another opportunity. This was only his first year. Let's see what happens. I am not going to shut the door at all on Matt Patricia. And this pick right here, Greedy Williams, is a decent pick because you're shoring up your secondary. With the 9th overall pick. Now, this is a good spot for Buffalo to move back. But with the 9th overall selection, the Buffalo Bills will select DK Metcalf out of the University of Ole Miss. This guy's absolutely ripped. This guy is a huge physical specimen. This guy played in a very weird offense with Phil Lonzo that at Ole Miss, they would only have a playbook of literally 4 plays. This guy is a very, very good receiver, and he will help Josh Allen. He is the number 1 receiver in this draft, and there's no offensive lineman that I think is that good on the board right here for Buffalo as a left tackle. I like Dalton Risner a lot. I like Baker a lot. But Dalton Risner is a right tackle, and we'll see where Dalton goes in this mock draft. But I think that this is a good pick. It's either going to be offensive line or you're going to get a receiver because you need someone to pair with Robert Foster. You need to get Zay Jones maybe into the slot. You don't have a number 1 receiver. You need to get some weapons in Buffalo. But I love this Buffalo team. I like this defense a lot. I like Jerry Hughes. I like that Alexander's coming back for another season. The secondary is very, very good. You have Jordan Poyer. You also have the guy Micah Hyde from the Green Bay Packers. You have Tre'Davious White. This is a very, very good secondary and a very, very good defense with Sean McDermott. So I think the Bills can potentially make the wild card next year, go 9-7, 10. It needs to be a wild card. I don't think they're beating New England, but Buffalo is a couple pieces away, and Brandon Beane is one of the best general managers in football. I've loved every move that he's made as a general manager so far, cleaning up Doug Whaley and Rex Ryan's mess. Here we go. With the 10th pick in the Rover Sports mock draft, the Denver Broncos select Drew Lock, Missouri, quarterback of the Missouri Tigers. The first quarterback in my mock is going number 10, and it is Drew Lock, the first quarterback off the board. Denver does not even need to sweat. Denver does not even need to do any trades. Denver will land Drew Lock with the 10th pick, securing their quarterback future. You guys can go back, and I love everything that John Elway is doing. John Elway takes so much flack for absolutely no reason. He's won a Super Bowl. His draft class last year was absolutely terrific. He's drafted stars everywhere. Andy Janovich, Josie Jewell. He signed on to Cortland Sutton, who is being utilized and who is really coming along out of SMU, a steal in the 2nd round. Phillip Lindsay, the ultimate steal, undrafted from just up the road in Boulder. Chubb, Von Miller from Texas A&M. Very good defense. I like the coaching staff. I like Scargarello, the offensive coordinator or the quarterback's coach in San Francisco. I think it's a great hire. I'm on board with the Vic Fangio, with all the Italian head coaches in Denver, and Drew Lock now. You now have Flacco and Drew Lock leading your franchise. This is a perfect quarterback room to win championships and win big for the next 15 to 20 years. Denver, pick of the draft so far is Drew Lock. Absolutely the pick of the draft. With the 11th pick In the 2019 Rover Sports mock draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Jawaan Taylor, offensive lineman from the University of Florida. Jawaan Taylor's a big guy. Jawaan Taylor is mobile. Jawaan Taylor is a safe pick. This is a guy in Zach Taylor that is young, that is nervous. I don't even know who the freaking general manager is because they're owned by the Brown family. It's Paul Brown, it's something Brown. This is an old, stodgy, conservative, shitty, there's my first curse word at 25 minutes into the show. This is a shitty team with a young, unproven Sean McVay coach, and I think it's going to fail because I don't like ownership. This is a coach that's just taken the job in Zach Taylor. I like Taylor. I think he's a really good person. He's creative. I don't think it's going to work out in Cincinnati, though. I think that it's going to end up being a disaster of a coaching hire. Cincinnati is another team that is absolutely headed down towards nowhere. But here's a little nugget, and I'll give credit to Benjamin Albright. And Benjamin Albright is a guy that is the Denver Broncos beat reporter, and he reports on quarterbacks a lot. If Ryan Tannehill, Zach Taylor taught Ryan Tannehill, was his quarterback coach with him at A&M since the Mike Sherman days, and then he followed him to Miami and was, even when Philbin was the head coach, he was the quarterback coach for Ryan Tannehill, and Tannehill's a free agent. Tannehill could go to Cincinnati as a quarterback, potentially. And Andy Dalton could be traded to the Washington Redskins for a first-round pick. That could happen because Jay Gruden likes Andy Dalton. So those things could happen, but I don't know. I doubt that they're going to happen. I think Dalton is going to be the guy that stays in Cincinnati, and the program will just stick right there. With the 12th pick of the Rover Sports 2019 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati, with the 12th pick of the Rover Sports 2019 NFL Mock Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Brian Burns, defensive end, Florida State Seminoles. I like this pick a lot. Fast, explosive, pass rusher, athlete. Can replace Clay Matthews on the edge. Very good pick for Green Bay. Green Bay is a very mediocre team. They have a good quarterback. I do like the Matt LaFleur hire as the head coach. The NFC is still very competitive. You have San Francisco, who's going to be good. The Cowboys are going to be very, very good. The Saints, the Vikings, the Chicago Bears. I would be stunned if Green Bay is one of the last four teams in the NFC playoffs. I think you need about a year or two to help build this thing. Mike Pattine's a very good defensive coordinator, and Aaron Rodgers is still the most talented quarterback probably that the game has ever seen. I'm not going to call him one of the best ever. I think he's 6th or 7th best ever because he needs to get to another Super Bowl, and he needs to try to win another Super Bowl. So Aaron Rodgers, let's see if he can get along with this head coach, Matt LaFleur, who is one of the most tamest, nicest guys that you're probably going to come across. I think LaFleur is a heck of a nice person, and I think it's a very good hire. I think he's a sharp mind. And in Tennessee, they were okay last year. But again, it was 1 year, and Mike Vrabel was the head coach in Tennessee. With the 13th pick in the Rover Sports NFL Mock Draft, the Miami Dolphins Okay. We're at a very interesting point now in the mock. Very interesting. I had the Dolphins slated as taking a player in this particular part of the board. I had them taking a big-time player. So give me a moment, and I will find out the player that Miami has selected. So give me 1 second. I ain't quitting this video. I ain't even quitting this video. I am going to be selecting a player for the Miami Dolphins. So everybody calm down. Everybody stay calm. Got it. With the 13th pick in the 2019 Rover Sports Mock Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Montez Sweat out of Mississippi State. Now, when you look at Montez Sweat, he got dominated by Dalton Risner. He's nothing but fast. He's a fast athlete who was projected upside. Upside. He is nothing more than a flame out. This is the one bad pick. It's a bad pick by a bad organization. The worst organization in the NFL, other than the Jets, other than the Bengals, is the Miami Dolphins. They suck in every possible way. Their coach, Brian Flores, is a complete joke. He wasn't even the defensive coordinator for more than 1 year. Nobody knows about him, and Bill Belichick called that defense. He's a linebackers coach. They are a copycat, pathetic organization, and they are going to be safe. They don't even have an offensive coordinator, I think, in that building at all. Stephen Ross, Miami Dolphins, they're going to be safe. It's going to be a safe pick. It's going to be Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat got absolutely dominated by Dalton Risner at the Senior Bowl. Montez Sweat does not use his hands well. He only has one move, which is a speed rush. And Montez Sweat was a guy that when he was younger was very academically ineligible. And he got kicked out of a program and had to transfer schools multiple times in the past couple of years. That, to me, would give me a little bit of red flags. Now, Jeffrey Simmons did a worse incident than Montez Sweat, but I like Simmons' character better than Montez Sweat at this particular moment, excluding everything in the past. So we'll see if Sweat is any good. I think that this is a bad pick, and I'm giving the Dolphins that honor. And I don't like the Dolphins. And in fact, I think that the Dolphins are headed towards Screwville. I think that they absolutely suck. The Dolphins will suck. Period. I don't know why they're picking 13th. They should be picking first for the next 5 to 10 years. They'll probably end up getting Tonga Vailoa, those lucky mother effers. Next team, number 14, is the Atlanta Falcons. And with the 14th pick, the Atlanta Falcons select Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle, Clemson Tigers. So I love the pick. Wilkins is a tough, physical lineman. He can clog up the middle of the field. He is exactly what you need. You need depth on the defensive line. Wilkins is a 4-year starter, a leader at Clemson. One of the most beloved Clemson Tigers ever. A guy that absolutely will be a high character guy that you can plug and play into your system. I think it is a very good pick for the Atlanta Falcons. I like Atlanta too. Like Dan Quinn, absolutely keep him. Dan Quinn has won, listen to this, in the past 3 years, he's won 3 playoff games in 3 years. He was able to beat Seattle, Green Bay, and he went on the road and beat the defending NFC champion Rams last year. This year, Keanu Neal out for the season. Deion Jones out for the season. Tons of injuries defensively. Injuries to offensive linemen. They got rid of their defensive coordinator, so Dan Quinn will take over. They also hire Dirk Cutter. So Dan Quinn, complete faith in Dan Quinn. New Jersey native. The guy is rock solid. Great job by Atlanta not firing Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is legit, and the Falcons are a legit team. I love Atlanta for this year. You're getting Atlanta on a really good value because everybody's down on Atlanta, going to just pick New Orleans. Atlanta is sneaky good. Calvin Ridley was a great pick. Dimitroff is doing a really good job. With the 15th pick in the Rover Sports mock draft, the Washington Redskins select Dwayne Haskins, quarterback, Ohio State University. Here goes Haskins at number 15. If Jacksonville takes Foles, if the Giants have Devin White on the board, the Giants, I don't think, are taking Dwayne Haskins because Dwayne Haskins is a good he's a good quarterback. He can throw the football. He was successful. The Ohio State teammates liked him enough. The problem with Dwayne Haskins is that he said on social media he wants to be a Giant. And if he's not a Giant, a lot of other teams are going to get cold feet on Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins is young and he played 1 year. Dwayne Haskins is on social media a ton. He quotes song lyrics. He's on social media. He's doing emojis. Is he ready to go right to the pros? Is he ready to be a starting quarterback to lead a franchise? Is he ready to be the leader of the franchise? Would you be comfortable giving your keys to a very young player that is on social media a lot? That is the thing with Dwayne Haskins. If he falls in the draft, it's because there are concerns if he's mature enough and ready to stay off social media and focus on football. Very similar to the Josh Rosen treatment, but not as covered as this. Dwayne Haskins. You have to look at social media. He's always on Instagram, always on Twitter. General managers like their quarterbacks boring. They don't like them to be on social media a lot. They like them to be very quiet, to just give ads. Let's look at the quarterbacks in the NFL, especially the really, really elite quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson, Mahomes, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. Who else is an elite quarterback? Dak is decent. Dak's quiet. Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, not on social media. Ben Roethlisberger, not at all on social media. Matt Ryan, not at all on social media. Russell Wilson, barely on, maybe for charity or for Bible quotes. Derek Carr lately has been on social media, not particularly on social media. Jimmy Garoppolo, not on social media. Most quarterbacks are not. They're quiet personalities, not flashy. Dwayne Haskins is flashy and confident. Could he be another Baker Mayfield? Could he be elite? I think he has the tools to be elite. I think that Dwayne Haskins is a good thrower of the football, but I worry about his mobility in the pocket. I worry about how simple his scheme was in college, and I think he is overconfident. I don't think he's going to be a very good NFL quarterback. I think that he is going to bounce around, and I don't think he is going to be a great first-round quarterback. And that's why he's going to get taken in the 15th pick. The Redskins will like him. It's a good value for Washington, and we will see how this works out with Jay Gruden and Kevin O'Connell and Washington. Dwayne Haskins falls all the way to 15 in the Rover Sports NFL mock draft. He will be taken outside of the top 10. Bookmark it here, people. The 38-minute mark. You ready for this? Let's get up to 38 minutes. We're going 38 minutes, baby. We got a house. The house is getting rowdy, and the house is ready to go. Dwayne Haskins will not be taken in the top 10. He will be taken at 15 by the Washington Redskins. Or the Redskins will trade up to take him. With the 16th overall pick in the 2019 Rover Sports mock draft, the Carolina Panthers will select wow, gonna take a moment. Gonna take a moment. Excuse me. Gonna take a moment. Need to get this pick in for Carolina. Gonna check. And I believe that I got it. I believe that we will win. Here we go. I got it. The Carolina Panthers select with Welcome to the second part of my mock draft, everybody. With the 16th overall pick, the Carolina Panthers select Yadni Kanjust, offensive tackle, West Virginia. Safe pick for a franchise that is in turmoil. Cam Newton might not play next year. North Turner is old. Ron Rivera is old and is worthy of being fired as a head football coach. Nice guy. He's calling the plays this year. Carolina has almost nothing to look forward to. They play in Atlanta's division, New Orleans' division, and Tampa Bay's. The Carolina Panthers are in mediocrity. They're in 8-8, 7-9 territory. They are going to be awful next year. They will be in the market for a quarterback. They will suck next year. They will be terrible. They have nothing to look forward to at all. Kuechly, all their players are getting old. Their offense, I know Dave Gettleman was there. He struck out on James Bradbury, struck out on a lot of cornerbacks. Their corners are still not that great. Marty Herney is out there now. He is mediocre, and this will be a boring pick for a franchise that is severely on the decline. A franchise on the rise, the number 17 pick in this draft. The Cleveland Browns. This is a pick that Jet Central got me turned on to. This will be Cleveland Browns, number 17, DeAndre Baker, number 17 from Georgia. A great cornerback. You pair him with Denzel Ward, you have a great defense. This is going to be a team to be reckoned with. This will be a team that I believe wins the NFC North, or wins the AFC North. And this is going to be a team that gets a first-round bye in the playoffs. And they will be headed to Arrowhead. It will be Mahomes versus Mayfield in the AFC Championship. Mahomes will beat Baker Mayfield. Chiefs beat the Browns in an AFC Championship classic. Number 18. But I'm not weird, right? Number 18. Who's number 18? Who's number 18? Who's number 18? This is the Minnesota Vikings at number 18, I believe. Is this number 18? Are we ready for Minnesota? Are we ready for Minnesota? I think we are. With the 18th pick. This is the most boring pick on the board. With the number 18 pick, the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings select Cody Ford, offensive lineman, Oklahoma. Now, he could play guard, he could play tackle. Just throw him anywhere. Their offensive line needs to get better. Now, Vikings are very boring. They have Xavier Rhodes. They have Trey Waynes. They have Zendejo. They could use another. I think they could use a safety. So I think Thompson would be a great pick. They're going to go offensive line heavy. That's probably what they're going to do, and it will be boring. They have all the skill position players. They have Dalvin Cook. They have great wide receivers, Treadwell, Diggs, and Thielen. They have Kyle Rudolph, who's a very good tight end. And now Stefanski's coming back, and you won't have to deal with John DeFilippo and him refusing to run the ball. Minnesota is like Atlanta, a team that has a lot of talent, a team with Kirk Cousins that everybody shits on Kirk Cousins. This is the time, when everybody's shitting on Kirk Cousins, this is the time to buy in to the Minnesota Vikings. You buy high. You can buy them at a very affordable price. This is a house that is a very nice house that had a little bit of leakage last year, but this is a good investment. You buy on the Minnesota Vikings market. I like Minnesota this year. They are sneaky, and they will be back and will be good. And for Kirk Cousins, I'm very excited about Minnesota this year. I think Minnesota has the potential to be tremendous. With the number 19 pick in the NFL draft, in the Rover Sports NFL mock draft, that is, the Tennessee Titans select N'Keal Harry from the University of Arizona State. This is a big wide receiver. I think he's about 6'3", 6'4". He can go up and high point the football. And Marcus Mariota needs another weapon. You have Corey Davis, who I think is going to be utilized more in the slot. I think Davis is going to be good in the slot. The Titans have promoted within as their offensive coordinator, a boring just guy who is working, doing desk work for them in the Tennessee Titans room. A boring in-house hire. Maybe that hire is very, very good. You have Mike Vrabel there. The Titans, though, unfortunately for the Tennessee Titans, I don't believe in Mike Vrabel at all. I like John Robinson, but I don't really believe in Vrabel. I believe in Patricia even more than Mike Vrabel, and this is a team that will severely disappoint, I believe, because you have Marcus Mariota, who really can't stay healthy that much. You have Corey Davis. You have Derrick Henry. Will everybody get along? And will everybody? I like the Tennessee Titans. I love Lewan. I love Derrick Henry. This is probably one of my favorite teams, okay? Because Corey Davis, one of my favorite collegiate players ever. I got to meet him before the draft was in Philadelphia. That was one of the coolest moments, certainly of my life. Maybe like a top 30 moment of my life was meeting Corey Davis, getting to hang out with him. He is as nice as advertised. He's a great person. So I like Tennessee. Me and Jet Central like the Tennessee Titans a lot. Mike Vrabel's a very likable head coach. I just don't think he's that good of a coach. I don't think he has the best intellect in terms of X's and O's and knowledge. I think he's more of a cheerleader than a coach. So I'm very concerned about Tennessee. That this program right now cannot get over Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck has beaten Tennessee. The Colts have beaten the Titans 10 straight times. So Tennessee, I'm just not feeling it. I think that the Colts are so much better, so I think the Titans are going to struggle to make the playoffs, though. But I like the N'Keal Harry pick, though. It's a good pick. With the 20th pick. Welcome back, guys, to the part 3 of the NFL mock draft. We have a trade. We have a trade. The Pittsburgh Steelers are trading their pick to the Oakland Raiders for a third-round pick. The Oakland Raiders are now on the clock. With the 20th pick in the Rover Sports mock draft, the Oakland Raiders select Kyler Murray, quarterback, Oklahoma. Oh, what a pick. John Gruden goes up in the draft, gets Kyler Murray as quarterback, man, and he trades with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's going to look to trade out of this pick. John Gruden does it again. John and Mayock. Kyler Murray's a gamer. Kyler's smart. And Kyler's intelligent. And it's a great, great draft pick for the Oakland Raiders. I love it so much. Number 21. Number 21 then goes to the Seattle Seahawks. And with the 21st pick, the Seattle Seahawks are like Deontay Thompson, a little safety from the University of Alabama, replacing Earl Thomas. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pick. Deontay Thompson's one of my favorite players in the draft. He's competitive as all get out. He's from Texas. He's a Texas kid who went to Alabama. This kid is a freak. This kid's an unbelievable ball player. He has great instincts. He's a great tackler, and he plays with confidence and an edge. He plays quick. I wish he'd go to Oakland. but instead he goes to Seattle, a team that I don't really like that much. And then with the 22nd overall pick, the Baltimore Ravens will select the cousin of Antonio Brown. The 22nd pick will be Marquise Hollywood Brown, giving Lamar Jackson some speed, giving him a wide receiver that he can throw the deep ball to. Hollywood Brown is the pick for the Baltimore Ravens at number 22. Number 23, the Houston Texans select Andre Dillard, offensive tackle from Washington State University. This is a guy that played under Mike Leach's system. He blocked for Gardner Minshew. He's a good versatile lineman. Boring pick for a team in the Houston Texans that will go down the tubes next year for sure. Houston is a team with Bill O'Brien taking time bomb, getting the whole building is. I mean, I think that this program is going to go up in smoke. It's going to be a horrible, horrible team. The whole AFC South is going ablaze, and there will only be one survivor, and that will be a team picking coming up very soon. With the 24th pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers will then select. You know who Pittsburgh will select? They will select Devin Bush, linebacker, Michigan. Good linebacker, good safe pick, very good linebacker. Steelers, boring team. They need a decent safe pick. With the 25th pick in this mock draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select. Guess who they select? They are going to select Ed Oliver, defensive tackle from Houston. Defensive tackle Ed Oliver. And I know you're thinking Jachai Polite. I know you're thinking Jachai Polite is not getting picked. And I know. I think he's going to slide. I don't know why. He's just going to slide. He just hasn't filled in. He just hasn't filled it in. This could be Trayvon Mullins, who's a very, very good pick as well. But Baker is gone at this part of the board. And same with Greedy Williams. So it could be Mullins. I think Mullins is very, very good. But the Eagles happen to select our friend at number 25. They select Ed Oliver with a high upside because their defensive line is getting worse and worse. With the 26th pick in the Rover Sports mock draft, the Indianapolis Colts will select Hakeem Butler, a wide receiver from the Iowa State Cyclones. Iowa State University playing at Jack Trice Stadium. I love this pick. Hakeem Butler will be a superstar. He is my number one wide receiver. He could go up and catch a jump ball. He can run every route in the route tree. He's competitive, and he's a great teammate, great person. I love it. I love it for Indianapolis. You need a big wide receiver on the other side of T.Y. Hilton. With the 27th pick in this mock draft, the Oakland Raiders will select another kid I like, a local kid. They select Nasir Adderley, the safety. Or wait. The Oakland Raiders select Joshua Jacobs in a little twist. They get Josh Jacobs and Kyler Murray, so I'm going to change that up. They're going to take Kyler Murray. We have a trade to report. The Los Angeles Chargers have traded their pick to the New York Giants. Whoa! And with the 28th pick, it's like the ladder match, and you gotta get in for the 3-second count. And with the 28th pick of the 2018 NFL mock draft, the New York Football Giants select Daniel Jones. Woo! Woo! The quarterback from Duke University. Wow. Cutcliffe, Manning, Cutcliffe, Jones, Cutcliffe, Manning, Charlotte, North Carolina, Southern kid. Daniel Jones is safe. Daniel Jones is a competitor. Daniel Jones is a thinking man out there. The Giants leapfrog the Patriots, go up to number 28, and just like Eli Manning, the Chargers move back. And the Giants move up for their quarterback. Shades of Eliath Shades of Eli Manning. With the 29th pick in the first round, the Kansas City Chiefs select Trayvon Mullins, Clemson cornerback. Big, rangy, good cornerback for the defense. Happy for Spagnuolo. With the 30th pick in the first round, it is Green Bay again. Alrighty, guys. With the 30th pick, Green Bay selects TJ Hawkinson, tight end from the University of Iowa. With the 31st pick, the LA Rams select Ja'Kai Polite. So they select Polite. And then with the 32nd pick, Noah Fant from the University of Iowa will go to the New England Patriots. And that concludes my mock draft. Thank you guys for listening, for watching. I hope you found it entertaining. Hope you enjoyed it. And it was fun making, for sure. So I'll edit this together, put all 4 parts together, and send it out to you guys to enjoy. Alrighty, guys. Take care. Peace. See y'all.